y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and you've arrived at another episode of Tangle Time. Thank you so much for being with me today and enjoying a Zentangle drawing experience. Let's experience something. Our tangle today is called PEEC. It is by Monica, and my instinct is to say Deutsch, but it's not spelled right. So I'm wondering if it's pronounced Dutch instead. So I'm not sure, but Monica, thank you for this lovely pattern. I have had a lot of fun playing with it. All right, so this is what it looks like. It's based on a square grid divided in half so that you have triangles, okay? So let's get started. So as you can see on this black apprentice tile, which is 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches, this is an original Zentangle apprentice tile. I have drawn a border, a straight border, straight-ish, around the edges in white charcoal pencil, and then I drew 2 diagonal lines from each corner to each corner diagonally across. At the midpoint where they cross, then you want to make a line up and down, vertically, and one horizontally. Okay, so you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. Okay, all right, so for a piece, we're going to start by drawing a small orb in each one of these triangles, as close to the middle of it as you can get. You can kind of guesstimate, but if it's a little bit off, it's okay. And if you get it reasonably correct, you've got a circle or an orb that appears out of these little orbs. Don't get me started. It's been a tough day. All right. So now what we're going to do is draw lines from each corner into and hook up with the middle. So let me show you what I mean. I think yesterday I tried too much with the word explanations when just a simple line would have done the trick. And I wanted to let you know that Heidi K got in touch with me and said she had a trick for helping to find the length of those lines as we start out, sort of how to visualize it. So we will definitely be taking a look at that, and I will post something for you guys to help you out with that. I really loved my muse, but the part about figuring out the length is tough. So the fact that Heidi has a trick for that does not surprise me at all. She is an awesome teacher and full of creativity. I just love her. She's got an enthusiasm for Zentangle that matches my own. All right, so this is based on triangles that are made out of a square grid, right? And so that's what I've done with my charcoal pencil, is drawn a square grid here with diagonal lines through it. Maybe that would have been easier, I don't know. And now in each one of these, I've placed my little orb in the center, or, center-like. And now here I have drawn lines that connect these. Okay, so I'm going to leave this for a second, come up here and do this over here where nothing else is going on. That's the downside of creating videos, creating these step out videos on the tile, is I don't have a way to highlight just the basic thing, but this is what we're going to do. So just pay attention to this section, this triangular section right here. Okay, so now The first tip I'm going to give you for this is that you want to go the same direction and turn your tile each time, or it is very easy to get confused about what you're doing where, okay? It's extremely simple to draw, okay? It's based on the letter P, as I mentioned, hopefully. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a sort of a skinny P. We're going to, it's sort of like a crescent moon type of a shape. We're going to start in the center and come out and down. It's just going to be thin like that, okay? Now, we're going to turn our tile, not 90 degrees, whatever the one between is. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing here, and we're going to do it on the same side, okay, as this one. So we're going to make the P pointing the way the P points. I dare you to say that one. Just like this, okay? This is where a P would be if I was going to draw it or write it. So, okay, and turning here, again, same direction. But the skinny little P part right there. Okay? I don't have my glasses on, and I thought the glare would be better with black, but no, not so much. Okay. But I can see now, so that's good. Okay, now, the rest of this is about echo lines and aura lines, okay? So now that we have gone all the way around and put a P on each one of these lines at the tips, okay, and we're going to go to the other side of that line, and we're going to draw an echo line from the tip, or the center to the tip, like this, okay? Turn your tile so you don't get confused. Go to the opposite side of the P and draw that skinny little echo line. Turning your tile, echo. Okay? Now, we're going to aura or echo, depending on where you're at and what you're doing. Okay? So, that's a half aura and a half echo in it. It's all right. Turn your tile. I promise you, you do not want to get out of order with these. It can be very confusing. I only say that because I know from personal experience. Now, we're going to, again, aura the other side. And again, order is important. Okay? Okay. And now go back to take your time. Enjoy the repetitive part of this. Enjoy just the ink of the line. If you're working on black with a white jelly roll, particularly if it's the jelly roll tin, or actually any jelly roll, you're going to want to make sure that you are cleaning the tip regularly, either with your fingers or on a clean sheet of paper or something, to keep the yuck off. The yuck off. It's my technical term. All right, now I'm going to do my echo lines on the sides again. And again, turning my tile each time. Whoops, don't get ahead of myself. One more. This is why I say don't get confused. Try to keep everything in order. All right, now that you've done the third one, let's do another one. And you just follow this back and forth until you have filled up this space. Okay, that's all three. So, is it all three? Yep. So let's once again add over here. Okay. Turn your tile, Cindy. Once again, I apologize to all the Cindys. Constantly on you, aren't I? All right. And see, this is where I start to lose focus on this. Yeah, I don't know anymore. All right, so let's say that was all of them. I think it is. And so let's move to back to this. I'm just going to put a small one in here. And at this point, at this point, you just fill that in, okay? And so here you can do the same thing. And now you can work back and forth if that's what you want to do, or you can keep turning your tile. Okay, and now this last side. Remember, if you're working with a Jelly Roll tin particularly, give your ink time to dry before you rub over it. Okay. All right, so this is our tangle, okay? It's very repetitive. It's not hard to draw, okay? Hopefully we're going to get something very cool looking as we do this. So the last step that I'm going to do, because of what I'm about to finish up here, is I'm going to ink this top P. Now, when you're inking a larger area and your pen stops providing plenty of gel ink, then you can tap it down. That'll sort of get the ink flowing again. And then barely touch over the top and sort of spread it around. And there. So hopefully this will dry. And if you need more, once it's dry, you can add that in. Okay? The other place I'm going to ink is right here. When you're working on black, you want to think about that sort of as an inverted white tile. So the things that you would want inked on the white tile, you want inked on the black tile. Although the look you're going to get is very different. So each one of those P's gets inked in. And with gel ink, take your time. Make sure your tip is clean. It really does make a difference. When the ink starts slowing down, tap, tap, tap. That works really well with the 10s, fairly well with the 8s. It'll get you started with the 5s, hopefully. Alright, if you've got spots that are sort of, that gets that sort of hairy look out, just sort of go over those. Okay, there. Now you can ink the middle in or leave it blank, and for now I'm going to leave that blank. We'll see. We'll see. So this is one element of what we're going to do. Now I'm going to continue and draw this in on each one of these triangular shapes, okay? So I may go around the tile and do one step all the way around. I don't know. That may be confusing, and I may do better if I just do each one of these individual spots, but we're going to find out, okay? So as always, going to start with my P up top. Okay. Remember to point your P's the way you do when you write them. You know, unless you have a different letter structure, in which case, don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's do this. I think you will love the meta pattern that happens with this once you get everything in. Don't forget to let your ink dry before you put your hand down. Okay, so I've got my P's on both sides here. So now I'm going to start with an R, no, whoops, I'm wrong, with an echo line. And I'm going to turn my tile. Okay, so now whoops. That was going on a trip all by itself. All right. Oops. Don't fix it, Cindy. All right, I've got that far, so now echo lines. Yep, okay, that's all of them. Doing it this way is more challenging, needs more thinking, so you may prefer not to do it this way. I'm having trouble with my landings here, aren't I? I will say there's a way you can fix that with your ink pen, as long as you're careful with that. So, okay. Okay. And echo lines. Okay, yep, all caught up. See why it gets confusing. Okay, so one more. All right, more echo lines. Okay, I think here I'm going to be able to finish this off. Except for that jerking thing I've got going on. There. And excuse me. Sorry about that. Really important you take your time with these gel pens. They can get out of control. Okay, and now one last side. I think you guys can see how cool this is going to look. I loved this configuration on the step out art, so that's why I decided to do it this way. All right, let's keep going. Not quite halfway finished, but almost. So I think I'm going to go ahead and draw in all my lines, because I have OCD issues. Okay, I need to. And there's no need to draw in the grid lines, although I suppose you could if you wanted to. They're all going to mesh up with each other on the sides anyway. Oop, that's not dry. All right, now. Make sure if you don't have a good fill that you let it dry before you try to add more. Otherwise, you're just going to get streaks in what you've already got down. And when you see me dot down and then roll over it, I am barely touching down, because I am wanting to move the ink but not make marks in it. Okay? All right, here we go. Echo lines. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. I have been enjoying drawing this. So I'm finding this pretty easy to do in a square form where you just work around, do everything in order. It can get a little confusing. But just remember, R of the P, and then echo the line. R of the P, echo the line. If I can remember that, that would be awesome. Okay. Oops. Did not mean to encroach in the other area. You do want to be careful about that. That was my last one. Well, what are we gonna do? We're gonna make it okay. We're gonna roll with it, see what happens. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, adding 16 auras. Right. I'm gonna add 2 auras each time. Now I normally would not do this. I would normally turn my tile each time, but I'm afraid we'll get out of order. Bye, Simba. His brother eating. Is it time to go? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. All right. 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, echo. Okay. And echo. That one got too wide, so I'm going to add one in there. And you can draw this with your 0.8 if that's what you have. It will be, I don't know, it'll be a different experience. I'm completely spoiled by the ink flow in these jelly roll tins. It just flows out, usually flows out with no issues. And that is such a refreshing thing. All right, so let's see where we're at. I sort of totally went out of order on this, so I don't know where I'm going next, but we'll see. Okay, and that one's done. And so I realized yesterday that I have got a whole bunch of art supplies I need to restock, and not just tiles, but this is my last jelly roll 10, and this is not something I want to run out of. I also need to get some 0.05s, the skinny ones, in the jelly roll. Just so you guys know, the Sakura system of nib sizes is not the same as everyone else's. I don't know why that is, but it is true. Oops. Okay. Let's finish. Let's do it this way. Isn't this pretty? I'm going to have something so nice when we get finished. We're going to have some fun with shading too. Alright, so I'm done with these, I think. Let's get the rest of this done. That's what I like to hear. Okay, so let's start with the R. These half echo R lines. You start right there at the top where your P starts. Try not to curve out too much, like I do. Okay. And sometimes there's not much room. Okay. I think I do like to draw this all at once instead of triangle by triangle, but this is very much a personal thing. So if you prefer to do the triangular shapes first, each one separately, that is absolutely fine. Do what feels the most relaxing for you. Because at the end of the day, the goal of this is relaxation. I think Simba's trying to talk his brother into giving up some food. He's like that. Okay, so here we are back at the start. Or closely there. Another round of echo lines. Okay, one more. All right. Back to the sort of aura. I really went out of order here. But that's okay. I'm just thinking about how how different my lines look when I pull towards me and push out. As always, this is a topic of interest for me because what? Okay, so I do this in the wrong order. I don't remember, but it's going to be okay. Even if you get out of order, it's going to be okay. Okay. She didn't see what? Just a couple more and we'll be done. I'm just going through here and evening up my edges. And incredibly, it is possible to shade over gel pen. So we will talk about shading here in just a second. I'm just going to run over some of my spots that needed a helping hand. I have to sort of turn it towards me or I can't see because the light is kind of blinding. All right. Probably going to get interrupted again in a second. We're going to try to get some shading done before that happens. You can shade over gel pen with a regular graphite pencil very easily. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to do some contouring here, something that redefines the sections. I don't know if this is a really good example, but you can do that. Now this is really shiny from my perspective. And of course you can take your tortillon or your paper stump, whichever. Make sure you got the right end. And you can put a little color there in the center. Just to, I don't know. I can't really see well enough to tell if this is effective or not. We'll just spread that around a little bit, and I'll have to look at this again when I don't have to have the light in this direction. All right, so the other place that occurred to me immediately to shade is right where I always teach you guys where the lines intersect, where they're perpendicular. And you're just going to put your color right there where the mini lines are along the side of the straight line. Okay, so again, there will be 3 places in each triangle where you're going to shade, and that's going to be where the lines are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so like this. Oh, wrong square, wrong rectangle. Triangle. Goodness, it's been a long day and it's just getting started. Okay, so something like this would give some depth to these patterns. You can also shade here on the top side if you want. It really just depends on what you want to do. Okay, so feel free to shade or not shade. This doesn't necessarily need it. It's pretty bold and dramatic the way it is. You can shade around your center. But these are the places where I'm going to shade along these perpendicular lines. They're almost perpendicular. Go with me on this. All right. I'm just going to go from triangle to triangle. Thank goodness I can get the right polygon name out. It's always a mystery to me how that works. So, yeah, I can tell the ones I've done by how shiny it is. That's about all I can tell. Now you could, for this step, you could use a black Verithin or you could use a gray colored pencil. That will also work for working on black. And in spots like this where I have had trouble with the ends of my ink pen getting all thick, then this can negate some of that. Oh, I forgot a spot, didn't I? And once everything is nice and dry, then you can go back through and catch any of the spots. Didn't get completely covered. All right. I think I got all my sections here. I'm going to blend, and then we will be where I'm going to leave it today. Once again, if you're photographing your art, you will have to be careful what angle you get this, or your light will definitely reflect off the graphite and the jelly roll for that matter. We'll come back in here and make some shadows around the center. I think even the Verithin would have had the same level of shine, so I'm not going to stress over it too much. And the shading is going to be fairly subtle. I mean, people aren't going to look at it and go, oh, wow, look at that shading. But it'll be subtle enough to make it interesting, I think. I hope. I have no idea which one of these I've blended and which ones I haven't. Let's look. Yeah, I actually like that. I like that a lot. You can tell if the light is right where I've shaded. I like that. So I probably will go in and add some more in some spots. Maybe blend out what's already there. And then I will call it a day. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. This was fun and relaxing and beautiful when we get done. What do you guys think of this pattern? I really, really like it. So let's see what I get on tap for tomorrow, and I am going to see you guys then. Thank you very much for being with me today.